Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel Montillo from Foreigner VG, and today we are for the very first time in our expat story with Rita from the Philippines. Hello, Rita. How are you?
Hello, Daniel. I'm good. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic in a rainy day here in Varna. Where are you located, Rita?
I am currently living in Kozloduy. It's a small town close to Vratsa.
Mhm.
So yeah, I am here in the small village of beside Kozloduy.
How is the name of the village?
It's Harlets.
We say you are from Philippines. From where in the Philippines, and what is your name?
So my name is Rita Sanchez Yordanova. I'm actually from the Philippines, and in the Philippines I am originally from Bicol, which is around 12 hours from Manila, which is the capital city of the Philippines. But I've moved to Manila to work. So I live in Bicol from my childhood, and I live in Manila for about 6 to 8 years.
And tell us a little bit about you and what do you do here in Bulgaria?
So for now, I am a full-time wife, and I am busy making videos for my YouTube channel, travel
Mhm.
a little bit if there is an opportunity to travel in the country, and show the beautiful places in Bulgaria.
Is in English? Is in Tagalog?
I actually tried to make it in English because I want everybody to understand, even if I'm really having a hard time to speak English, because you know that English is not our first language. But since that I want everybody to understand my videos, then I am trying my best to speak English on my vlogs.
Why and when did you came to Bulgaria?
So I moved here 2018. So
Mhm.
after fixing all the documents, I decided to move here 2018, and I've been staying here for 2 years, exactly 2 years now.
You don't live in the Philippines, but what do you like about the Philippines?
Well, in the Philippines, we have a lot of beach. We have a lot of beautiful beaches, and then we attract millions of tourists per year. We have so much different islands. We have 7,000 islands in the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 7,000 islands. And then um, in the Philippines, we are very hospitable. I think that's also the reason why we attract a lot of tourists per year. And then we have different culture. We have a very beautiful culture as well. I think we get our culture from Spanish people, a little bit from American people, and a little bit from Japanese. I don't know, because we've been colonized by different countries, but most of the culture are from Spanish. And we actually we have a big province in the Philippines who speak Spanish. So
Yeah, they still speak Spanish in some place.
yes, there is a big city in the Philippines who speaks Spanish there. That's why, and a lot of Filipino words are almost similar with the Spanish language. So yeah, Philippines is very beautiful. We have a lot of places to offer. Our food is very different as well. We have a lot of exotic foods that you might never want to try. But after I go back to the Philippines, Daniel, I'm going to make a lot of videos about our exotic food, so you can watch about it. And yeah, the place is amazing. The Philippines is one of the beautiful country. We have a lot of things to offer, and we have such a good people there.
But I hear you just told me before we start the interview there have been some typhoon in the Philippines and this and that.
Yes, we have like 9 months of summer season, and then these 3 months, like November, December, January, we have this rainy season, which sometimes give us lots of typhoons. Sometimes per year we have like 20 typhoons,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's the hard thing about being in the Philippines, because we are very prone to typhoon and flash floods, like soil eruption and
Yeah.
flooding. Yeah.
Is your family doing okay? The region where they live,
Yes,
your house, yeah?
we live in Bicol, which was uh, 2 weeks ago. There's a super typhoon happened in Bicol, Daniel, and then my family had to evacuate.
Wow.
And then from the news, 90% of infrastructure was damaged by the typhoon, because it's a signal number 5 typhoon. And my mom said that in her entire existence, it is one of the strongest typhoon that they had in their life. Especially our city is an island, so it's an island beside the Pacific Ocean. So
Uh-huh.
our province is very prone to typhoon, and we had 3 meters. The waves, with the waves, the
Yeah.
it's really damaged. It's very damaged.
Oh, I'm very sorry about that. I'm very sorry. Uh, then, okay, we have the weather. Which other difference there are between your country, Philippines, and Bulgaria? What you have seen in this time, 2 years?
I think Philippines is, aside from the season, because we only have 2 seasons. Philippines is and Bulgaria are different in terms of culture, especially the food. I actually had a hard time to adapt the food from the first semester of being here. Like in the Philippines, we are not very fan of salads like Bulgarian people are. And then we don't have so much milk products. Our foods are more on meat and rice. We have a lot of vegetable meats and rice. Unlike here, that so much dairy foods, which is a very good for your health. And then I can compare that Bulgarian food is better than Filipino food, but in terms of the savory and the taste, um, our food is not far from the tastier food in the world. We have a lot of famous dishes in the Philippines. And aside from that, it's very different because Bulgaria has lesser people to deal with. Life here is less stressful than I had in the Philippines. And life here is very easygoing compared to the life that I had. I don't want to generalize all the people in the Philippines, but it's just me sharing my life before and my life now in Bulgaria. Because in the Philippines, after I finished my study, I moved to Manila. I really need to, to be brave, to be able to have a good competition between these people. Especially if you are searching a job.
How many
Um,
people lives in Manila?
in Manila, I don't exactly know the population, but the population of Bulgaria is only in a big city in Manila, like Quezon City, I think, which is like, I think Bulgaria has like 7 million.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah,
And this
it's
is
very
a
different
city,
than
it's a district in Manila.
Yeah, it's only in Manila.
It's,
Not because in the Philippines we have 110 million population.
all right.
So yeah.
It's a
So
big
it's only a big
difference.
city. Bulgaria is just a big city in terms of populations.
Okay. And tell me a little bit, or in these 2 years, what do you like about Bulgaria?
Well, I love Bulgaria because of this nature, like especially the mountains, the 4 seasons, of course, because I was living in the tropical country. And the food is amazing. Like if you have a little bit, I actually made a video on what can you do for $4 in Bulgaria, and I made this chushkisis uris, if you are familiar with that meal.
Yeah.
So it's just me showing how far $4 can go in Bulgaria, because here we have more raw foods, organic foods. Like that's one thing that I really want about Bulgaria. And I love how Bulgarian people preserve their traditions. Like, in the Philippines, Daniel, we have August. August is the celebrations of our Buwan ng Wika. It's a celebrations of our national language, like the Filipino. And we have a lot of activities as well, like dancing the traditional dance. But here, it's like every day. Like if you're going to the restaurant, everybody's dancing the horo. You know, every village celebrates their praznik. Like especially like when I actually went to Krušovica. They celebrate their yearly Banitsa festival, and I think that was the most beautiful festival. I am looking forward for the Rose Festival because
Yeah.
on the past few years I never had an opportunity because I was busy working as well. And of course, the cherry festival in Custindil. I actually ride a lot of festival, but since the that I was busy as well, in some ways I cannot travel. We have a lot of things to be prioritized. So yeah, I love the tradition. I love the culture. I love the old places, like because I am a fan of old things, Daniel. I love collecting antiques. I love wearing old clothes. I think my soul is very old. I am not a modern type of woman. That's why whenever I have an opportunity to go to different fortress in Bulgaria, I feel that it really made me relax. I've been to Tsarovets, which is very beautiful. Like I also been to Ruse, the medieval the Cherven fortress. Of course, the
Mhm.
Belogradchik fortress, which is amazing. So Bulgaria is a very beautiful country in terms of the tourist destinations and the history and the culture. It's very beautiful.
Nice. Or how have been your experience with the bureaucracy, for example, to get your residence, to get your ID, to get your visa? Tell us a little bit about that.
Um, I actually heard a lot of problems from other foreigners who studied with me in Sofia. But me personally, I don't have any problem because I always go with my husband when
Uh-huh.
I need to renew my residency, when I need to get some requirements to get the job. My husband is very supportive and he's always with me to get some documents. But I think the hardest part of being um, getting some documents is like my experience is it's not about getting the documents. In my experience, it's when I have to deal with people who works from the train stations and bus stations. I think that one, not the one that when
Hmm.
I have to get some
What
documents.
is the problem to communicate with them?
Yes, it's very hard to communicate with them, but for me. I understand because it's me who is going to adopt their language, not them, because I am living in Bulgaria. That's one thing that I want to share with other people, like that they have to, like, a little bit of Bulgarian is a very big help for them to live normally in Bulgaria. Like whenever I heard stories that I actually have a friend in Sofia, Daniel, and whenever that she has a problem about dealing to the stores, Rita, I'm searching for this type of product and this girl from Bila don't understand me. Can you please talk to her? And then I have to talk to her. I said, and then that's the reason and then she said that now I want to study Bulgarian because Bulgarian people are like, if you speak their language, even if it's wrong, Daniel, even if it's wrong, they're going to appreciate and they're going to correct you. Not unlike that, if you don't try, like you're going to not to you don't like to try their language, then they don't have lots of patience. So if you have a little bit of Bulgarian, then it's going to be awesome. They're going to correct you even if you are like having really trouble in speaking their language.
Yeah,
It's
opens
very
a lot
they're
of
very
doors for
easygoing.
you. Okay, can you share with the people from Foreigner BG that is watching this video? if something important experience do you have in while in these 2 years that you have been living here in Bulgaria?
Hmm. So I think, Daniel, this is might be very simple, but the important experience that I have here in Bulgaria is when I experienced the snow for the first time. You
Ah,
know, because I was living 30 years of my life in a tropical country, and I never had an opportunity to go out because in Asia we also have Korea and Japan who offer snow, but since that I don't have the ability to move or to travel around outside the Philippines that time. So the first time I see the snow is like November 18, 2018. And I was like, it was the best thing that I can share. Of course, it's very different feeling, Daniel. I don't know, but when I tell my husband that I want to feel the same feeling, like the first day that I see the snow, it's very different. It's me being back in my childhood, being so happy for some piece of a chocolate or something. It's very happy.
yeah, you start to throw some snowballs and all
Yes,
that.
yes, and I was in the coffee shop with my friend that time. And then she said, Rita, today is the first snow. I said, maybe when you go home, it's already snowing. I said, okay. And then we are still ordering our coffee. And then everybody is greeting each other like Chistit Purvisnyak, is
Uh-huh.
that the way? I said, Rita, it's snowing. And then I literally go out and run. I said, oh my God, I'm here. I'm here in the place where there's snow. So it's very simple, but for me, it's one thing that is very important experience in Bulgaria.
For example, if you have a magic stick and you will be able to change something in Bulgaria, what you will do, what you will change?
Well, I like to put more efforts to the tourism in terms of promoting the tourist spots in Bulgaria. Like like in the Philippines, we have a Department of Tourism who is overlooking for the possibly tourist spots in the Philippines. And then I think in Bulgaria, Daniel, if we are going to put more budget and efforts to promote our tourist spot, like our fortress, our sea, our the traditional places, our mountains, I think it will attract a lot of jobs for a lot of Bulgarian people. And because I also want to change the mentality of other Bulgarian, because I've been traveling a little bit in my life here in Bulgaria, and a lot of them are being so negative about the type of life they have here.
Yeah.
And then I was actually in the train going to Varna last summer, and then there's an old lady sitting beside me. I was trying to have a conversation with her. It's like, Kaksikas, Baba. It's like, I am Kailina. I am from Varna. I went to Sofia to visit my daughter. And then there is a girl who's like, why do you study Bulgarian? Bulgaria is dead. I'm actually working in Germany to something like that. And that is something that I don't want, because I said, I think happiness is within you. Like, if we stop comparing ourselves to other people, then and be grateful for what we have, focus on your goal. Like, my goal is to promote the actually this is one of the reasons why before I make my YouTube channel for putting my personal life and hair content. But since that I encountered this type of people in Bulgaria, I was eager to make more videos in promoting the tourist spot in Bulgaria. Because if the government is going to put a lot of effort or budgets to the tourist destinations, then yeah, it will attract more jobs, and maybe that's going to change their other mentality. Because I said, you are I actually have the type of life that I really want after I moved to Bulgaria. I think it's just they don't know what type of living I had in the Philippines. Maybe we are all different. We are all have our own purpose in life. But for me, being in Bulgaria is not miserable. It's a very good country. It has a lot of things to offer. And it's for me, it's the peacefulness of the country is the most important. Having a peaceful life is the most important for me.
Tell me one thing. What about in your region? I never been in that area, of Bulgaria. What is something
Mhm.
that if you have the opportunity to say, the tourism ministry in Bulgaria say, okay, Rita, you will
Mhm.
be in charge of promoting your area. Which will be the first thing that you will show? You will say this deserves everybody to know about this. Come and visit.
Yeah, we have here the in Kozloduy. We are connected to the we are very connected to the Danube River.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we have the activities on this river, like boat or any activities like yacht in the village that attract customer, like in the you can make a restaurant like a floating restaurant, right? So that you can attract more
That will be nice.
clients, customers. Yeah,
That will be nice. I would like to go in a
yeah.
restaurant.
And we also have in Vratsa, we have the God's Eye cave, which is very famous here in Bulgaria. And the the road going there is very hard. I think it's something that has to fix a little bit. And Vratsa is very good in terms of the mountains. Like I think putting lots of restaurants there and activities, promoting the beautiful nature. Like if you are in a stressful life and you're going to go there, then if you have a lot of options like hotels and restaurants there, maybe you will stay longer. But because you don't have that much of place to stay or to eat, then after visiting for a little bit of time, then you're going to leave.
Mm-hmm. And I have a question for you. You told me before that you are learning Bulgaria. Which other languages do you speak?
In the Philippines, we speak Filipino. That's our first language, and we speak the second language is English. So in the
Uh-huh.
Philippines, we have 8 subjects, and I think 6 subject is being taught by English. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why in the Philippines, Daniel, if you're going to travel in the Philippines, you're not going to have a hard time in communicating with people because at the young age, English is being taught.
Okay.
So even if it's like Carabao, we have this famous um, language Carabao English. It means that you are having a hard time to speak English, but we keep trying and trying to for you to feel comfortable with us in the Philippines.
I,
So
I, I have some Filipino friends and they say the language was Tagalog.
yeah, it's
Is
Tagalog.
Tagalog
It's a
or is
Filipino.
Filipino?
Yeah, yeah, it's the same Tagalog and
Ah,
Filipino. Yeah. The
Filipino.
language by itself called Filipino, but it's called Tagalog by the from the Filipino book. It's Tagalog, but it's yeah. The language itself it's called Filipino,
How you
and
say
the
hello?
people is called Filipino as well.
How you say Filipino in how you say hello in Filipino?
It's like greetings. It's like kumusta,
Kumusta?
kumusta. It's like Spanish,
It's
yeah.
like
Kumusta,
Spanish. I can say that.
yeah,
Kumusta? It's okay.
yeah. Kumusta, yeah.
Nice, nice. And okay, you've been in Philippines, tropical, Bulgaria. Have you been in some other countries?
I went to Greece for a couple of days.
Mhm.
We had a holiday in the Greece, and then I also went to Vietnam to fix the documents because we don't have um, Bulgarian embassy in the Philippines, so I have to travel from the Philippines to Vietnam
It's
to
far
fix.
away, Vietnam from
Yes,
Philippines.
it's 3 hours by plane, Daniel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 3 hours by plane. So yeah, it's we still have don't have we still don't have the embassy. So I traveled to from Manila to Hanoi to fix my visa for several days and tour a little bit there. Yeah, and so yeah, Greece and Hanoi, Vietnam is the only country that I visit aside from my country and Bulgaria.
All right. And okay, you say you have a YouTube channel. Tell us a little bit more. What is the name? How people may found it in YouTube?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel, guys. My YouTube channel is Filipina Yordanova. So my content is about sharing the beautiful places in Bulgaria. If I can able to travel, my content is about sharing my life as an expat here. What are the foods, like food reviews? What simple life, my simple life here. It's like all about my life and all about the foods and the places that I can probably share in my YouTube channel.
Subscribe and like Filipina Yordanova channel.
Yeah,
And you're gonna learn about Bulgaria, Kozloduy region, and some other things very interesting about Bulgaria. If you are not
Bulgaria.
in
Yeah,
Bulgaria, but if you are in Bulgaria, see what is Filipina doing. You're gonna have
yeah.
fun. It's gonna be fun, no? Okay. And for you took a big step and you moved to Bulgaria. What you will say to some other people that is now thinking, should I go to Bulgaria? Should I not go to Bulgaria? Should I go to Bulgaria? Should I not go to Bulgaria?
Yeah. Advice that I can tell them, like,
Yes, what you will say to them?
uh, for me, it's don't be afraid to visit Bulgaria. Bulgaria is a beautiful country with a beautiful people, very good food, and lots of places to offer you as a tourist or as an expat. So the only thing that I can advise is try to study basic Bulgarian language, like Kaksi, like every simple basic language is a big help for you to live normally here in Bulgaria. Lots of YouTube clips. You can watch a lot of YouTube video to help you to learn how to speak Bulgarian. Because on my experience, Daniel, as I was traveling around Bulgaria, this is something that really make my life a bit difficult. The language barrier, like dealing with people. How do I go there? How do I go here? What is this? Something like that is. But if you know how to speak basic language, then you have the best life in Bulgaria, because you're going to study, not them, because this is their country.
Yeah.
A little bit is okay.
And how is your Bulgarian now?
Gorido. Говоря малко. I speak a little bit.
Nice. You can go to the shop, you can
Yes, I
greet
can
and
go to the
communicate,
shop.
basic communication with people.
Yes, I can go to the
Okay.
shop. I can live. I can travel by myself. When I feel so bored here in Kozloduy, I travel to Varna to visit Jenny, my friend, Ate Mary Ann, my friend. In Sofia, I also travel to Sofia. I traveled like 15 cities in Bulgaria, Daniel.
15. Wow.
Yeah, I think 15. I think more than 10. I think 15, yeah.
Nice. And you like
Yeah,
them?
Bulgaria has a lot of things to offer. It's like Plovdiv, it's amazing. Veliko Tarnovo, Lovich, Sofia. But my favorite city is the Plovdiv and Veliko Tarnovo.
Really?
Yeah. For other people like Plovdiv, but for me it's Veliko Tarnovo. I think because of the Tsarevets.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm in love with the Tsarevets and the history about it. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I want to thank you, Rita, for taking the time to speak with us today, to share your
Oh, it's my
experience
pleasure,
with the
Daniel.
expat community here in Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish
You're
you,
welcome, and I appreciate you also for contacting me and have me as as
I
one of the
always
person.
happy to interview positive and people that is doing some interesting stuff here in Bulgaria. And thank you for participating. I wish you all the best, and I hope soon you're gonna have again a first snow.
Yeah, hopefully, Daniel.
You still like snow?
Yes, especially from the window. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it a lot.
from the
Yeah, from
window
the
is
window,
better.
and then after the snow, then I go out. Some people find me weird, like, look at that Filipina. She's always outside the snow playing there. It's actually my third snow, if ever.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. All right. And one last question. You say you live in a small village.
Mhm.
How you interact with you get along good with the people in the village?
Yes, because as what I've said, that I love dealing with older people, Daniel. Like, I love older people than young people. I think I have like two young Bulgarian friends here. It's Annie and Maya. But most of my friends are babas, like Grandma and Diado. I
Yeah.
like going to their barn and get some fresh milk to make Bulgarian yogurt. I like learning how to make the Bulgarian foods. But now, as of this moment, it's one thing that made me stress being at home and avoiding myself to be surrounded by older people because of the situations that we have. We are not sure. I am not sure if I am not infected. So even if they really try to call me and say, Rita, hi dito, we're going to make some banitsa, we're going to make um, mikitsa. And I said, I don't like to go now because I always go to the stores. I always travel a little bit. So for me, it's very important to be clean or let them be safe from this type of virus that we have nowadays.
All right.
I called them by the phone actually. And yesterday, while I was making my rice coffee outside my house, Babagin can come with me. It's like, no, you cannot stay here. I will give you a stall. I will give you a chair, and then you can stay there because you cannot come near to me. It's like, but I am far. I'm already shouting. I was like, oh, it's okay. I went to the store yesterday, and we never know. It's like she's like, oh, Rita is very responsible. Of course, I don't want them to be in a bad health.
Excellent. Excellent. All
Mm.
right. Thank you, Rita, and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Bye bye.
Bye.